There we go. Stronger humans, how's it going? Hope you guys are doing well. This video is going to be pretty long. And if you're someone who's been wanting to get into rope flow and you haven't been sure how to, this video will get you doing some basic patterns, learning how to put them together so that you can start creating a level of flow and the practice becomes enjoyable. I'll also be giving you a lot of ideas in terms of ways to allow your practice to become more fluid so that you don't think as much and so that you don't feel that it's something that is a struggle, but more so, it's something that is enjoyable, fun, and feels great on your body. Now, I do have a large rope flow foundations course on School. You can access that right now. It'll go through a lot more things than I'll be going through in this video. But this video is meant, and if you want to just get to the start of it, I'll timestamp that for you, so you don't have to hear me ramble. But if you want to get somebody you know into rope flow, you can send them this video so that they can understand the practice and get some ideas to put movements together in the practice so they find it enjoyable. Let me take a sip of this. If you yourself are someone who's been doing it for a while and you want to teach it to people, this video will give you some ideas on things to think about when sharing it with people, because there are over 26,000 members in the Stronger Human community. And rope flow is one of the practices that we're doing in there. And there have been so many people who have found massive benefits. Lower back pain, gone. Shoulder pain, gone. Better balance, better fluidity of movement, better weight shifting, better understanding of their body. And it's not because rope flow is magic. It's because the practice ends up allowing you to put your body and get yourself in positions that aspects of your movement practice aren't getting you into at this moment in time. And that's why it's super powerful, because when you do rope flow, after you finish a session, you'll typically always feel better than when you started. It feeds your body. This rope is resistance, okay? So when you swing this rope and you learn how to swing it with your body, your spine, and rotation versus using your hands, right? You'll notice it's decompressive, and that feels amazing. So it's great for decompression of the spine, the shoulders, and a lot of other stuff. But let's talk first about breathing. That is the first thing that you need to keep in mind when you do this practice, breathing. A tendency when people start any new movement practice is to hold the breath and try. And the reason why people tend to do that, the reason why we do that, is because typically in strength training practices, when we push, and let me make sure this mic is still, the worst thing would be to go through an hour of recording and it doesn't record. Actually, maybe we should also. Okay. All right, cool. Now, the tendency when learning new movement practices, especially when you learn movements that you don't know or that are new, you hold your breath. And when you do something and hold your breath, automatically your body seizes up and you get more tight. So that's why with this practice, I want you to make sure that whenever you're doing any new movement or whenever you're moving, you have a constant diaphragmatic breath going on. Try not to squeeze the rope. Try to, and we'll get into this, but try to breathe, slow down, be fluid. Now, two things. I have a blog that I wrote about rope flow that answers a lot of common questions about the practice. And as I mentioned, the Foundations course has like 50 plus videos, which will give you a lot of nuance, a lot of details that this video isn't going to get into because I just don't have the time, but that's on School. You can join there for free. What rope do you use? Do you have to buy a fancy rope? First, I want to answer that you could, if you wanted to, you could grab yourself a resistance band right now and go through some of the things that I'm sharing with you, or that I'm going to share with you in this video. The thing is a resistance band, even though you can do these patterns, doesn't have a lot of resistance. It doesn't weigh much. Now, if you have a jump rope, for example, you'll notice when people jump rope, and people call rope flow a practice that is just jumping rope, right, without hopping. And you can do these patterns with the jump rope. You can do these different patterns, but again, the jump rope isn't going to have a lot of weight. So it won't feel as good as a rope. So my suggestion to you is you could go to Home Depot and get yourself some less expensive rope, and that will work. That will get you started with the practice. But it won't feel like a thicker, heavier rope would feel. Now, I also want to suggest this. If you buy a rope on the Stronger Human store, do not get yourself a heavy rope. They're more expensive, but they're also too heavy. I'm saying this because there's going to be a lot of guys that watch this video, and they'll see me using this rope, which is the Ghost Shark, or the Magma or Ube XL, and those are entry-level heavy ropes, okay, entry-level. Now, this right here, it's a Gorilla. It's like, I think it's 2.4 kilograms. It's quite heavy. When you swing this thing, if you don't have technique down and you're trying to muscle it, you're going to find that you're not going to enjoy this practice, because you should swing it with your body just like you would a light rope. It shouldn't be crazy well, it will be difficult, but it shouldn't be a stressful experience. But that only comes when you've worked with a lighter rope. So if you're new to this practice, do not buy the heavy ropes on thestrongerhuman.com. Don't buy those. The ropes that I would suggest are, when you go to thestrongerhuman.com and you go to the rope flow section, you'll see that there is a section that says flow ropes, and there's a section that says heavy ropes. Don't get the heavy ropes. Get either the flow ropes or the entry-level heavy ropes, like the Ghost Shark, the Ube XL, the Magma XL. They're around 860 grams or so, okay? Now, you'll see this rope too. It's thinner. It's called the RMT rope. It's a good rope, but something that people notice is that since it's so light, it's hard to feel a lot of feedback from the rope. So it's a good rope, and I do like having a light rope, an entry-level heavy rope, and a heavy rope. But for some people, when starting the practice, they want a bit more feedback. So that's why, in my opinion, and the ropes that I suggest the most are the, oh my goodness, okay, we're just gonna put that down there because we're having issues, is the Ghost Shark, the Ube XL, Magma XL. There's an XL series of ropes on my website. Those would be good, and these would be good for people of any size. If you are older, like let's say that you're in your 60s, 70s, and you are maybe less than 140 pounds, then maybe starting with the normal flow rope that's on the thinner side, which is in the flow rope section of thestrongerhuman.com, that would be ideal. So I just want to get that out of the way because I know there's going to be people that ask, what rope should I get? That would be my suggestions. All the links are in the description, okay? So now ropes are done. We talked about breathing. Okay, so I needed to adjust this angle a little bit. Let's start with single arm basics, okay? Now, when you're standing with the rope, ideally I want you to get into like a combat type stance, whether it's your right foot in front of your left foot or your left foot in front of my right foot. I'm mentioning this because this, when you start doing rope flow, will allow you to start going through transitions, boom, boom. But if you're static here with your feet right next to each other, when we want to make certain positional switches, it'll kind of be hard to, okay? So I want you to get into a combat stance. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 11 years, so when I approach rope flow, I see martial patterns in them, okay? The first thing that we're going to do is we're actually not going to start with the two-arm patterns. You saw me in the beginning of this video. I was doing all these different patterns. We are going to start with single-arm patterns, okay? Now, You'll take your rope, put it in one hand like so, okay? You can, if you want to, you can grab it down here or you can grab it up here, but it's going to be on your left or your right hand. This thing, it doesn't matter what hand it's in right now because we're going to switch hands and we're going to do it on the non-dominant side. That's one of the great aspects of this practice, by the way. It allows you to work your coordination on the dominant side, could be your left or your right, and then you work on your non-dominant side, which is the opposite. We typically don't do many movements, rotations, or patterns on our non-dominant side because, well, we're efficient beings. We typically want to do things in the easiest way possible. But by building that non-dominant intelligence, you're working regions of your brain that haven't been touched in a while. And that increase in coordination is going to play a role in a lot of other things that you take part in as somebody who just moves. So, whatever hand you start, and whether it's your right or your left, we're going to start with something called the overhand pattern. Okay? I'm going to face this way first. I'm going to put my left foot in front of my right foot. I'm going to have the rope in my right hand. And then I'm going to swing the rope on one side of my body. This pattern you see me doing right here, it is called the overhand pattern. Okay? Overhand. As the rope is swinging, imagine there was sand or grass in front of you. That sand or grass is being swept towards you. So as you swing this rope, whatever's on the ground is being swept towards you. That is your overhand pattern. I want you to swing the rope on one side of your body. Now, as you're doing this, I first want you to make sure you're breathing. Then I want you to bring mind to how hard are you gripping this rope right now? Because if you feel like you're gripping it hard and you're going like this, it's not what we're looking for. We're looking for less tension, just enough tension to swing the rope. And secondly, we want to follow the weight of the rope. So you'll notice I'm not just going like this, right? Relaxed, and you see my body kind of bouncing. I'm following the weight of this rope, okay? This is a very important part of this practice. Learning how to follow the weight of the rope is going to allow your practice to be fluid, okay? So, let's go back. We're swinging the rope on one side of the body. Then, what I want you to do is I want you to stop. I want you to switch hands, bring the rope to your left hand or your opposite hand. I want you to get in your stance and I want you to swing the rope on that side of the body. It won't feel fluid. You might have been, and if you ever need to pause the video and just practice something a bit, feel free to pause the video and practice, okay? Now, boom. And you'll notice my rope is a bit tangled up right now. I'm not very concerned about that. So if your rope tangles up, don't worry. It's not a big deal. We're just trying to understand these patterns right now. So again, boom. Have the rope on one side of the body. Bob with it. Breathe. You want this to become something that's relaxed, something you don't think about. Stop. Switch arms. Start swinging the rope. There's a key that you want to keep in mind. You want the rope to be swinging in line with your body. So it should be swinging forward in front of you. If you're swinging and the rope is like here, coming in on this side or going in that direction, you stop, reset, have intent, and swing the rope in front of you, okay? Now, a little concept I want to bring to mind for you as you do this. Before we do this and bring it across our body, there's a concept called the head over foot balance concept. There's a video that's coming on my other channel, or my main channel, that will be going into this. But my friend David Weck is the one who popularized this and came up with the messaging about this, and it's so great. So, David, always shouting you out, man. You're awesome. For perfect balance, if I'm going to stand on one leg, you notice how my head right now is over my foot. If I bring my head offline of my foot, I have to start trying for that balance. But once I line up my skeletal structure and stack my head over my foot, this balance becomes something that's very easy. So, understanding this, understanding that even when we're walking and working this spinal engine, another concept I'll talk about in a little bit. When we walk, we want to bring our head over our foot for perfect balance. You'll see a lot of people, they walk, their head is just right here, right? Well, let's come back to that overhand pattern we were doing. When you do it, if the rope is on your right side, I want you to bring your head over your right foot And when you bring the rope to your left side, I want you to bring your head over your left foot. Now this is what I want you to do next. Before you swing it across your body, actually, let's do that first before we go to what's next. Notice how right now I'm bringing the rope across my body. Boom, just like so. Across the body. That's the next thing I want you to do, okay? Whether it's with your right hand or your left hand, bring the rope across the body. Okay, now this is our overhand pattern. Something I want you to keep in mind as you do this. As you're bringing the rope across the body, notice how I'm shifting my weight. When I shift my weight, I'm here, when I'm on this side, and when I come back to this side, I shift here. Instead of you going like this, because this is what most people will do, they'll swing the rope with their arm and go like this. I want you to shift your weight and follow the weight of the rope. It's a concept that takes a bit of time to get used to, takes a bit of time to understand, and I want you to understand this too, please. When you do rope flow, don't think you have to do this for an hour a day. This is not a workout. It's just a fun movement practice. You could do it a few times a day. You could keep a rope in your car, a rope at work, a rope at home, and when you're taking a walk, you could take your rope with you. So just understand, we're not trying to kill ourselves with this. We want to have fun. We want to make it enjoyable. It is a flow state movement practice. So don't stress yourself out with it. And it will be frustrating. There will be times that you're doing it and you're just hitting yourself over and over. And then you're like, I'm not coordinated. Listen, anybody can become coordinated. I see this all the time in the Stronger Human community. Thousands, I'm not even kidding, thousands of people go from I'm not coordinated to flowing with a rope just by practicing. We all have the ability to be coordinated. Okay, so if you hit yourself and it feels like it's a struggle, put the rope down, go do something else. Come back later and give it a shot. That's actually one of the coolest things, by the way, about the practice. There are these downloads that you get. You're doing a pattern, right? You're doing a pattern, and it's like it's not there. It's oh, okay, I hit myself. I got it, and then it's not there. And then you put the rope down. You go do something else. Maybe go take a walk. You go hang out with family, you go touch your dogs, pet your dogs. Why do I say it like that? Touch your dogs, pet your dogs. You pet your dogs. You come back and then that pattern you were working on is there, right? It's a great feeling. And when you get your first download, comment down below and let me know how you feel. But with that being said, you're swinging the rope across your body, shifting weight from front foot to back foot, front hip to back hip. And this is one of the most powerful things. Being able to learn how to have the energy flow through this tool, right? And you're shifting weight. This is a level of resistance. I want you to realize that. This is resistance. And you're funneling energy while you're moving, while you're shifting weight through this implement. The rope will teach you. When the rope hits you, you'll realize that there was something about your rotational movement that was off. And then when you're smoother and you don't hit yourself, you'll feel how good that is, okay? Now, I want you to switch arms, if you haven't already, and just get used to going from right arm, go like this, to left arm. This will be pretty easy now, okay? Along with that, I want you, before we get to our next movement, I want you to take some steps. Try to take your steps in line with the rope. So remember, we have this staggered stance. So step, step, step. Boom, boom, boom. Okay? Again. Step, 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 step. Try to start moving and try to keep a rhythm, okay? Keep a nice rhythm. Now, after you do that for a little bit, we're now going to work our underhand pattern. The underhand pattern is a little bit more frustrating. The rope is going to swing underhand, kind of like you're throwing an underhand pitch, okay? Just like so. This is your underhand pattern. Imagine the ground is the sand or grass, and now you're sweeping it away from you. Overhand, you're sweeping towards you. Underhand, you're sweeping away from you. There will be a tendency to move around and try to dodge the rope or keep it away from you. It's just a rope. If it smacks you in the face, I'm gonna make it smack me in the face. How do I smack myself in the face with this thing? Let's see. smacks, let's see. I want to smack myself in the face. Oh, there. Whatever. If it smacks you in the face, it's not going to be that painful, okay? So don't dodge the rope. I want you to learn how to move with the rope. And when you're doing this underhand pattern, one foot in front of the other, remember, let's try to have this staggered stance, right? When you're doing that, I want you to then try to bob, try to find it, find this pattern, and then move with it, okay? On one side of the body, just like we did with the overhand. So you're going to do this with the underhand. You can even switch your front foot and back foot, by the way. This is a good thing to do, so you can start getting the hang of different feelings of tension and shifting weight. Then you're going to switch hands to your left hand. Notice still how my head is over my left foot, okay? Right side, head is over my right foot, still doing the underhand pattern, head is over the left foot. To slow this down and make it easier, go underhand here, stop, come here, and go underhand here. Just remember this head over foot concept, okay? Now, the next thing we're going to do, and again, make sure you're breathing. I'm going to remind you a lot about breathing through this, because whenever you learn a new movement, I want you to realize this about yourself, me. When anybody learns new movements, there's a tendency, because of the uneasiness of it, because it's new, because it's a new input, your nervous system wants to keep you safe. So inherently, what's going to happen is you're going to hold your breath a little bit as you do this thing to try to keep everything together and stop things from moving. You'll have to override that pattern. You're going to be reminding yourself, and I'm going to be reminding you in this video, to breathe, okay? So as you do this underhand pattern and it's not clicking, I want you to, and if this gets too frustrating, go back to the overhand pattern that we just learned, okay? The single arm overhand pattern, go back to that, okay? Now, do that on the right hand, do that on the left hand. You could start switching hands back and forth, boom, 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 right? You can start walking with it. Actually, let's first do this. Bring it across your body. This is going to take you a second to get the hang of too, okay? So you need to pause the video. You can pause the video, but I'll show you right now. The rope is on my right side. Head over my right foot. I bring it over, boom, and now it's on my left side. Notice how I'm here, okay? The rope is here, all right? Then I bring it back over. Back over, back over, back over. And then I can hit it like that. Now, I want to give you a good little regression for these things to make sense, because as you do this, you're going to find that one side of your body, it's easy to keep the rope on there, but when you go to the other side and you try to do that underhand pattern, it's dirty, it's not working, okay? And you'll also find that you'll turn your body like this, right? One thing I want you to notice is as I do this, you'll notice that I'm facing forward. I'm never turning my body all the way like this, although some patterns will involve that, but I'm facing forward and I'm rotating here. I'm having a spinal rotation happen, okay? So keep that in mind. And then the second thing is that there are beats when it comes to this practice. So you notice how we've been practicing one side and then the other side, and then we put it together. A way to make the putting together a little bit easier is to get the hang of it on one side, do it for maybe 1, 2, 3 beats, and then switch. 1, 2, 3, switch. 1, 2, 3, switch. 1, 2, 3, right? And then you can do 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, right? So keep that in mind, okay? In the Rope Flow Foundations course on School, I have a lot of different drills just like that one that will kind of teach you and give you drills to practice in your own rope flow practice. I won't be able to get into all those drills here. So again, if you want to join and get into that course, just go join the Stronger Human, open up the classroom tab, and then you're gonna have access to it right there. But if you want to stay on YouTube, I'm going to stay here on YouTube, and we're going to keep going through this. All right. The next thing, actually, a next little thing I want to teach you for some of this spinal rotation that you're going to be getting in rope flow, because a big aspect is getting your spine rotating. You'll notice that my spine is having a rotational pattern, right? A way to practice that even without swinging your rope, is putting your rope behind you like this, having your hand going through on this side and then grabbing the other side and walking, right? Because as you walk, I want you to almost try to rotate your body in a figure-8 pattern. When you push against this rope, right, and you take out the slack and you rotate, you're going to notice that your spine naturally rotates. And then as you step, 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 the rope kind of makes it easier to get this head over foot action and this natural spinal rotation, or what we call the spinal engine, right? I have a video about that, I'll link it down below. But when you go take a walk and you want to take your rope with you, which I highly suggest, it's a great tool for walking with, flowing with, right? But put it behind you like this. Walk, and you're going to notice that you now have a little bit more swag in that step while you're walking, okay? You have more. Whereas when a lot of people walk, boom, right here, no spinal movement, neutral spine, no rotation, no fluid movement, right? They don't weight shift well. So that's another tool in your toolbox for this rope outside of swinging it while you're practicing it. And then something else before we get back to these movements. You'll see me wearing these Shama sandals, okay? These are barefoot sandals. I highly suggest that when you do this movement practice, is the mic still going? Okay, good. When you do this movement practice, okay, use a pair of barefoot shoes, barefoot sandals, something that will allow your feet to have good contact with the ground. Because when you use really padded shoes, which is what most people do, most shoes have a lot of cushion, it dampens your connection with the earth. Your weight shift won't be as fluid because your feet aren't doing what they need to do. So I highly suggest learn about the power of being barefoot or wearing barefoot shoes, barefoot sandals. These ones are available at the Stronger Human store, the ones I enjoy is Shamas. And you can check out the video I made about foot health. It's over there, somewhere in the description. But keep this in mind. It's very important over time as you do this practice. You're going to learn how to better shift your weight. And you're going to get better access to your feet, and your feet will work better with the rest of your body because you're learning how to, shift your weight. Like a martial artist, right? There's weight shifts that go on. And power comes from the feet through the hips, through the arms. It's not just here, okay? All right, so let's go back to our underhand. That's where we were. We were doing single arm underhand. Boom, boom, boom. Now, I'm going to teach you how to flow this overhand. Boom, boom, boom. Face forward, propeller. Underhand, shift, propeller, overhand. That is a flow right there. That is a flow. I'm going to teach that to you right now. So, the first thing I want to show you is this movement, the propeller. The propeller is where we're going to have neutral feet. So when I say neutral feet, I mean we're not staggered, one foot in front of the other. We are one foot right next to the other in a neutral stance, okay? This tree. I want to keep it here. I don't want to cut it down, but it messes with the sun. But then I kill a tree. I don't know what to do. All right, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. The propeller. You're going to have your feet facing forward. Let me go over here so you guys have more light. The rope is going to now swing in front of you. I'll just come right here, okay? Notice how the rope is swinging in front of me. Now, one thing I want you to do is pause your video, or don't even pause your video, but when I shift here, the rope is in an underhand pattern. I haven't changed the orientation of the rope. I'm just changing the orientation of my body. So when I shift here, the rope is going underhand, okay? Notice my left foot is in front of my right foot. My feet made this action. I just pivoted. It's a pivot. Boom, boom, okay? So when I came here, I was underhand. Well, when I shift here, overhand. Again, I'm going to do that again. When I shift here, underhand. When I shift here, overhand. I'm keeping the rope on this side of my body. Underhand, overhand. So that's why this movement is called a propeller, like a plane propeller. Think of a propeller, right? This is a propeller. Now, as you do this propeller, I want you to bounce with the rope a little bit. Notice how I'm bouncing with the rope. Boom, boom. See that? Bounce, bounce. You can slow it down. As I switch here, boom, 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 right? Switch hands too. Do the propeller on the other hand. Your rope may start to swivel, not a big deal, okay? Do the propeller on the other hand. Underhand, overhand. I'm going to keep the rope in front of me. Underhand, underhand, hey. Underhand, there we go. Overhand. Now, the goal now is to go from the propeller to your underhand or your overhand and keep the rope swinging. Let me show this to you. But I'm going to first show you at this angle in front of me, and I'm going to show you facing the other angle. Okay, so this propeller right here, underhand, then I swing the rope across my body. Okay, remember our underhand pattern? We were swinging the rope across our body. So when we go from the propeller here, that way will be underhand, that way will be overhand. Boom, cross, right? That is going to be a little bit brain itchy for you. As you try to do it, you're going to hit yourself a lot. It won't make sense. You're going to be like, what is he doing? Trust me, just boom, propeller, I shift, then I bring it across my body just like I did for that overhand pattern, or that underhand pattern. And then I'm back to the propeller. Neutral feet. When I switch that way, it'll be overhand. So when I go here, overhand. Now it comes across the body, back to the propeller. Now, practice that for a little bit. It's going to make your brain itch. You're going to be like, what's going on here? But just practice that for a bit. Now we're going to come to the propeller again with our opposite hand, right? When I go that way, it'll be underhand. Now in my underhand, and look at my stance, I'm in my combat stance. Shifting my weight front and back. Propeller. My feet are facing forward, okay? I go that way, overhand. Boom. Now in my overhand pattern, right? Back to propeller. I want to tell you something. Do not expect to get all of this in one day if you're new, okay? Do not expect to get all this in one day. You might come back to this video. You might go to the course in the Stronger Human School. Go over there. You're going to have a lot of community support, along with support from myself. But don't expect to get all this in one day. Daily practice, okay? A lot of your practice is just going to look like you practicing one movement, practicing the other hand, putting the rope down and going to do something else, okay? But over time, as more movements download and your movement vocabulary increases, you will have more access to more movements. So don't get discouraged right now if some of this stuff isn't making sense. Now let's go back to the propeller. Okay, we're in the propeller. Boom. Underhand. Propeller. Overhand. Okay, now I want to show you something about this pivoting, okay? Because we've been staying in front of the body. Boom. And then boom. But how do we turn around? Huh? Because if I'm going here at the propeller, and then I'm overhand, and I try to go here, I'm stuck. This is where you take a step, okay? So, I'm in this staggered stance. I started here. I'm in this staggered stance. If I want to go over there, I have to take a step forward, and then I'm in the propeller here. And then I can pivot here. I could take a step forward, and then I can pivot towards you, right? Now, I want you to understand this. It's not just a step forward, you can also take a step backward. Let's do this propeller again. Boom. Shift here. I can't get there. Step backwards. Pivot. Shift. Step backwards, pivot. So you can step forwards or you can step backwards. So now I want you to practice this single arm rotation, right? Do it with both your left and your right hand. You will notice a deficit on one side. One side, your strong side, is probably going to get this faster than your opposite side, okay? But as you do this, I need you to breathe. I want you to, I want you to shift your weight. I want you to feel that rotation of your spine. I don't want you to squeeze the rope super hard, okay? Don't squeeze the rope hard, just try to see if you can make this relaxed. Watch me bob. Okay, good. On the propeller. Shift on my overhand. I'm gonna step back, propeller, and I can even take a few steps along with the weight of the rope. Bounce with it, right? Underhand. Shifting weight, front and back, shift, 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 shift. Take a step. Propeller, right? Switch hands. Underhand. Take a step. Propeller. Shift. Overhand. Take a step. Propeller. Overhand again. Shift. Overhand. I can even just move forward, move backwards, to take a step. Propeller. Shift. Underhand. Take a step back. Propeller. Okay? That's a simple flow. And then over time you will own those movements. Okay? Then you'll be able to be here, boom. No thinking, go back. You could shift, go back. You could do little fakes. Boom, right? So, practice that simple flow, okay? Over time, it will turn into even more. But right now, you're new to this practice. Give yourself the time to learn it, okay? So, now we did our overhand, propeller, underhand, propeller, overhand, okay? Now, we're gonna bring the rope to two hands, okay? This is where you see a lot of people rope flowing. The cool little thing with a lot of these movements, if something is hard to do with both hands, first start with the single hand. This is typically how I teach rope flow to groups. I start with the single hand, we all get the single hand down, then we go into two hands. Let me show this to you. Create an OK symbol. Boom, it's okay. Palm up, have it go right there in your hand. Boom. I would not suggest you hold like this. People have a tendency of holding here and squeezing. Have the rope, this little knot, go through here so it doesn't come out. I did not want that to be that way, but it did. You want to have a loose grip so the rope is just kind of chilling. You don't want to squeeze super hard, okay? Fight the tendency to squeeze. Yo, I'm dumb. Okay, fight the tendency to squeeze though. Okay, now, we're gonna learn those movements that we just learned, the overhand pattern, the underhand pattern, and the dragon, which is the two-hand version of the propeller. But I want you to start, when you do this, one foot in front of the other like we just did, whether it's left, right, right, left, start there. When you do this, I want you to start with whatever hand, whether it's left over right or right over left. I want you to keep the rope like this as we learn these movements. When we learn more movements, and over time, it won't matter which hand's on top. You're gonna understand how to navigate this thing. But just for the sake of right now, okay, I want you to keep one hand on top of the other. Ha! And actually, before we even get to this, okay, I wanna mention something about circumnavigation, okay? In the rope flow community, we call these the laws of circumnavigation. Now, you know what we just did right now, earlier, where we did the single arm and we were like this. Then we came here, right? I faced in this direction. Then I came here, right? Then I faced backwards. That is called circumnavigating, because we got north, south, east, west, the cardinal directions, right? You want to follow those cardinal directions as you're going through different movements of this practice. It's the first mistake people make that will make learning harder, because once you understand the basics, you can break the cardinal directions and you don't have to do what I'm saying right now. But the reason why I suggest that you follow these cardinal directions, meaning I'm here, then here, then here, then here. You don't see me going at angles, right? I'm not going northeast, northwest, southwest, southeast. I am going north, south, east, west, right? It's because it'll make it easier for you to learn the transitions of these movements. The propeller is a transitionary pattern. Same thing, we're gonna learn this movement right here called the dragon. We're gonna learn that, okay? We're gonna learn a move called Hanuman's dance, okay? Well, actually, we won't learn that right now, but you will. These overhead moves, these are movements, this propeller, these are movements that'll help you go from the overhand, boom, neutral, underhand, back to neutral, right? Underhand, facing back, right? So you notice how when I'm here in my dragon or my propeller, boom, boom, right? Propeller, propeller, overhand, underhand. We want to learn how to navigate within those directions. I go into this in the course too, it's all there. But just keep that in mind as we start learning these next movements, along with as you're trying to work on your transitions. You want to follow those cardinal directions, okay? Now, back to two hands. Let's start with our overhand pattern. So I'm gonna face this direction right now. My left foot in front of my right foot, or you could do right or left, doesn't matter. Hands above each other, one hand above the next. Right hand over left or left hand over right. You're gonna swing the rope. Actually, it's best I do this facing you. You're gonna swing the rope on one side of the body. Your goal is to orient the rope forward. So if you're like this and you keep hitting yourself, I want you to notice when you have two hands and you wanna swing the rope on one side of your body, you gotta rotate your spine a little bit, but notice I'm not facing this way, right? I'm not twisting my knee. Here, I'm gonna shift. You wanna shift into your back hip. This will take if you've never done this before, actually I'm not going to get into the depth of it right now, but rotate so that your left shoulder's forward if the rope's gonna be on your right side, or your right shoulder's forward if the rope's gonna be on your left side. Just rotate your shoulder, but keep facing forward. And then we're gonna swing the rope on one side of our body. You're gonna notice that the rope, you're gonna tend to like maybe have the rope here. I want you just to try to breathe and direct the rope forward, okay? Boom, direct the rope forward. If you find it difficult to have this staggered stance while doing this, for now, you can go into a neutral stance. It'll make it easier since all you have to focus on is shifting your upper body, but if you can, I want you to get into this combat stance we've been talking about, this staggered stance, and swing the rope on one side of your body. Right hand over left or left over right, doesn't matter. Get familiar with that. Stop. Come to the other side of your body. Keep the same hand on top. Then I want you to swing the rope. Okay? Swing the rope, just like so. Boom. That cloud coverage actually makes the light better. Okay, stop. Rotate. Swing the rope again on this side of the body. And then soon I want you to swing the rope across your body. Now notice something. Notice how I'm shifting my weight here. My head, remember, head over foot. My head's over my right foot. I shift here. My head's over my left foot. I shift back, head over right foot. Shift back, head over left foot. Boom. Now I'm shifting back and forth, back and forth. Now, I want you to practice that. Just practice that for now. And I want you to, if you've been doing this, and I want you to make it smooth, breathe, but as you do this with the staggered stance, I want you then to start going a little bit lower, seeing how that feels to shift weight. Go a little bit higher, see how that feels to shift that weight. Notice how I'm not squeezing, I'm not death gripping the rope, and I'm not all arms, just using the rope like this. I'm shifting my weight, rotating those shoulders, getting that head over that foot, right? This is a big part of fluid movement, this action. Rotation of the rib cage, rotation of the scapula, and rotation of the spine, right? Okay, that's a big part of this. And you're gonna notice if you find it hard to rotate like this right now, over time, as you get more of the repetitions of this movement in and the rope teaches you how to do that fluidly, you'll get more movement ability, okay? So, overhand, boom, all right. Now, if you've practiced that overhand, you know what we might do next, but before we do it, I want you to switch your feet. Try switching your feet forward, maybe take a step, boom, boom, move around with it, with that overhand. And something I want you to notice is the human crawling pattern is the spinal pattern of the overhand pattern. The overhand pattern is a crawl, okay? The underhand pattern, again, one hand over the next. That's what we're going to practice next. Staggered stance, ideally. If you find the staggered stance or the combat stance a little bit too difficult right now, you can get into this neutral stance, okay? Now, the underhand pattern, sweeping the ground away from you, sweeping the sand away from you. It could be right here, boom. Okay? It's not going to look like this at first. I'm trying to keep the rope facing forward, orienting this way. But it might look like you might find it difficult. You might be moving around and dodging the rope. Just chill. Bring it back. Try to swing it on one side of your body. Find that rotation. Okay? When you find it, on one side, stop. Switch sides. My left hand's over my right hand right now. And boom. Find it on the other side. Notice how my shoulder is facing you. I'm rotated, right? My whole body isn't shifted this way, but I'm rotated enough to have the rope facing forward. This will feel weird, okay? I want you to understand this will feel weird if you haven't done this before, okay? Boom. So one side, stop, rotate, build momentum. Notice me bobbing with the rope, following the weight of the rope. And then, when you've done it on both sides, you're going to then try to bring it from one side of the body to the other. So you can start with this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stop. Rotate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stop. Rotate. Then you can do 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1. That's our overhand pattern, okay? Shifting weight, back foot, front foot, head over foot, back hip, front hip. Shifting that weight, breathing, not holding the breath. Now, the underhand pattern is the human gait. The underhand pattern mimics the spinal pattern that you have when you're walking through space or when you're walking with a level of fluidity, not walking like someone who doesn't know how to use their spine, okay? We're using our spine and we're walking with fluidity. We're walking with balance. This is why many people who run, when they go and they run after doing some rope flow and learning those patterns, they end up hitting PRs because they learn how to access that spinal engine that helps you move a little bit fluidly, a little bit more fluidly. Seen that a lot in the stronger human, okay? So, bam, underhand pattern, okay? So, I'm gonna face this way now. Because we have our underhand pattern, the propeller, the overhand pattern. That is what we learned with a single arm. Remember, we went from a single arm here, propeller, underhand. Now we want to do it with two hands. So let's first do the two-hand propeller, because we haven't done that yet. So you're going to have right over left, okay? Right here, bam, propeller, just like so. And you're going to notice my arms moving, but I have my body moving. You're always going to notice that I'm going to follow the weight of the rope. I'm going to move with the energy of the rope, learning how to not have a crazy amount of tension and not having it just be in my arms, but having my body follow this weight, okay? This is important, okay? So follow the weight of the rope, relax, okay? Then that way will be underhand, that way will be overhand. I want you to realize something though, because all of that matters is the orientation of where we start swinging the rope. If I'm doing my propeller this way, now that's overhand and that's underhand. But it's because I started swinging the rope this way, where underhand would be that way. But if I want underhand that way, then I switch the orientation. And underhand is now this way, while overhand is now this way. So, again, it'll take time to be able to feel these nuances between overhand and underhand, but just understand that there is no like, oh, I'm doing it wrong because I'm overhand right now, or wrong because I'm underhand right now. Nothing's wrong, it's just how you started the swing. So, we will all have a way that we like swinging the rope. For example, this right here, my body just wanted to start the swing like this, right? But I start the swing here, same propeller, just different orientation. When I switch to different sides. Now, with that being said, practice your propeller, and then we're going to practice going to your overhand side. Right now, my overhand side is in this direction, okay? So, when I want to shift to go overhand, I won't bring it across my body yet, although you can if you want to, but I'm going to keep it on one side of my body. Boom, just like that. Notice how my head is over my right foot. Bam. Then I'm going to come back to the propeller. Then I'm going to come underhand. Notice how my head isn't up here. It could be up here, but my head is over my left foot. Perfect balance. Back here. So, get the hang of this. Boom. 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 Okay? The rope might trip up a little bit, especially since we're doing repeated patterns. But practice that. Boom, 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 right there, okay? Then we're gonna go from the propeller to swing it overhand and swing it across the body. Then back to the propeller, and underhand and swing it across the body. Boom, just like that. Breathe, back to the propeller, okay? Now, you remember what we did with pivoting with the single foot, right? So we're gonna go from here, we're gonna pivot here, bring it across the body, we're gonna take a step, back to the propeller this way, then we're gonna rotate here, bam. We're gonna take a step, overhand, well, not overhand, back to propeller, okay? So I'll do that again. I can step, or I could pivot this way to underhand, bam, bring it across the body. I take a step, then I pivot, propeller. That way will be overhand, that way will be underhand. So I'm gonna go back to the overhand side, pivot. Then I'm gonna take a step, boom. Then I'm gonna pivot, propeller, okay? That footwork is gonna be great for you to learn. And actually, let me switch my shoes because pivoting in my sandals, one of my sandal buckles got eaten by a dog. So unfortunately, it doesn't have the hold that my second sandal has. So I'm gonna put these on. These are some Vivo Barefoot shoes. Moving around these is nice. Okay, so now we're doing it with two hands. So bam, take a step, propeller, pivot, take a step, bam. Now we've done that with two hands. I want you to practice that, okay? Make it smooth. Make these cardinal directions smooth, north, south, east, west. Notice if I'm here for my overhand, I can walk around, boom, walk around, take a step, pivot. I'm on my propeller. Propeller, you can move with the propeller. Boom, boom. You can even venture shifting weight like this, right? Boom, now my underhand. Pivot, propeller, overhand, okay? Now, before we get to the dragon roll, which is in the realm of the propeller that will help you transition, I want you to start, not even to start, if you're new to this, I want to show you potentials of things. Because rope flow isn't just a practice that has to be done on both feet and it's like super robotic, boom, boom, right? Over time, you start to mess with balance, right? Shifting weight on one leg. You're still getting that spinal rotation. Actually, break the cardinal direction right now. Boom, you see this? I'm on one leg. Right? Now I'm working a level of balance. I'm going to break the cardinal direction again. Oh, that wasn't good. But boom, I can get lower here. My head's over my foot. Boom, right? I can throw a kick. I can get wide. There's a lot of potential for different aspects of footwork, martial footwork. So as you develop your practice, realize you can go on one foot. You can go single arm and throw kicks and transitions, throw kicks and transitions. There's many things you can do. It evolves as your movement evolves. So I just want you to realize that as we continue on, because there's a lot of movements in rope flow. And I'm continuing to develop my own practice. So let us now learn the dragon roll. Now, we went from single arm, propeller, underhand, propeller, overhand. Okay, we've done that. We did that with both hands. Hey, what's up, man? Good to see you. Propeller, underhand, propeller, overhand. Okay? Oh, my dogs. Now we're going to learn the dragon roll. Okay? The dragon roll looks like this. And you might be wondering, why is that called the dragon roll? I don't see dragons emanating from his rope. I don't see fire coming down from the sky. Well, it's because we drag and roll and drag and roll and drag and roll. That's why it's called the dragon roll. Now let me slow that down because I did that quick, okay? For the dragon roll, take your time. Don't rush. Breathe. Don't squeeze the rope. The cool thing about this pattern is that it's going to introduce more of a rotation, a frontal rotation, right? Because when we do this, you know what? I'm just going to start. I want you to bring the rope to one side of your body. Right now, the rope is on the right side of my body. And, you know, if you even had like some tape that is like a square, or not a square, but a cross, that tape could allow you to work in quadrants. But we're going to bring the rope to one side of the body, okay? Right there. Now, the dragon roll will have me drag the rope to the other side of my body. Notice my orientation, okay? You could literally just practice this. Shift, rotate, rotate, rotate. Bring the rope from one side of the body to the other. I want you to also notice, when I'm shifting this weight, it's not just my spine that's going like this and my legs aren't doing anything. I'm also shifting the weight. Like right now, I have my weight in my right foot. I'm facing this direction. I could have my weight in my left foot, but for now, I just want you to just get the hang of shifting weight, learning how to shift weight from one side of the body to the other, okay? So we'll start again. Just shift, drag. This roll that I'm about to do, I'm going to bring the rope over my body. I'm going to keep my body facing in this direction, okay? My body's going to stay facing here, and then I'm going to roll the rope over my body, okay? Then I'm going to drag the rope to the other side of my body. And I'm going to roll the rope over my body, okay? Drag, roll, drag, roll, drag, roll, drag. Let the rope hit the ground. Roll, drag, roll, drag, roll. Okay? Now, I want to show you something because you know how I started on this side? If I start on this side and I drag and roll, drag and roll, it can be done in that way too. It's just different orientations. You'll see what I mean soon. But as you speed up the drag and roll, go drag, roll, drag, roll, drag, roll, drag, roll. I want you to notice first something I'm using. I'm using the sound of the ground. Drag, roll, boom, drag, roll, boom, drag, roll, boom, drag, roll. Notice how I don't really switch my body's orientation until I get the feedback of the rope on the ground, okay? This timing will take time to get used to. This is a frustrating movement. You'll practice this. You might get it immediately, and kudos to you. Once you get the movement, by the way, as you're practicing, hold on to it for a little bit. So if you're practicing and you're like, boom, boom, and then you start to speed up, oh, and then you get it, I want you to hold on to it, I want you to breathe, and don't speed up, just try to keep it going. It'll stop at some point. That's okay. Do it again. Now, mistakes that I commonly see with the drag and roll when I teach this in person is when somebody goes here, they'll drag, roll, drag, and when they roll it back, instead of the rope coming right in this diagonal angle, they'll bring their arm across and the rope will come here. You might have already done this. You might have brought the rope here, here, and when you came back, the one arm came across the body. That could be a reason why this isn't working for you, okay? That happens for many people. I'll actually also do that here. Boom, boom. Notice how this arm comes across the body. That should not happen in the drag and roll. In the drag and roll, notice how my arms are not crossing. Drag, roll. Drag, roll. Drag, roll. What's not happening is when I bring this over, I'm not going like this, okay? Just a common fault. And then the second most common fault with people when they do the drag and roll is they keep their arms really high. So when you get the hang of this movement, I want you to look at me. My arms are barely moving, I'm breathing, and it's mainly my spine. My spine is rotating. There's a little bit of a swivel on my wrists, but nothing crazy. It's my spine and body shifting weight of the rope. People will tend to go like this, where they won't use their spine as much, and they'll try to use their arms. And when you use your arms, you'll even notice for me, the rope was hitting me a lot because I'm mainly using my arms. All arms, no spine. This is something I go into the course. There's a whole module about faults, common faults when it comes to the practice. So, the drag and roll, practice it, okay? If it's not making sense, go back to some of the movements that we already learned. We learned the overhand, we learned the propeller. Make these transitions smooth. In the next few weeks, I want you to be able to flow with these movements, the overhand, propeller, single arm. You can start even switching the single arm, right? You can switch arms, boom. Right now, I'm literally just doing the movements that I've already shown you. I'm not doing anything special, anything that I haven't shown you. I'm just doing what I've already shown you with a little bit of footwork, right? You can reach a flow with simple movements. And then, without even the dragon, we have this underhand, propeller, overhand, lunge, propeller, boom, switching, right? That's all the stuff I've already shown you. Now, when we add the dragon into the mix, the next thing we want to be able to do is now do all those movements with the dragon roll. So, we have our dragon roll that we've learned. Then we can go to overhand, back to dragon in this neutral stance, right? Dragon, underhand. Take a step, just like the propeller. Now we're back in the dragon facing this direction. Overhand, take a step, dragon, underhand. Okay? Bam. So, the dragon will take some time. Trust me, you might pause this video, go practice it. It might not make sense. It is not impossible. I reiterate these things because I want you to understand that you have the ability to achieve all of the movement abilities you want. You can do it. It just takes practice. None of these things clicks for someone immediately. None. Some people may click a little faster than others, yes. But I have seen people who didn't believe in themselves and their levels of coordination. I've seen them get the hang of this. And it comes by practicing and not rushing and not judging yourself on what you're able to do right now. If I judged myself when I started jiu-jitsu, and you'll see, if you go deep on my channel, my main YouTube channel, you'll see a video when I started jiu-jitsu. 265 pounds strong, deadlifting 755 pounds. 160-pound black belt taps me 6 times in 6 minutes. And that wasn't a single lucky occurrence. That happened many times. If I told myself this isn't for me, I'm not coordinated enough for this, I can't learn this, I would not have achieved what I've done in jiu-jitsu. I would not have my black belt. I would not have won the world championships that I've managed to win if I told myself I couldn't do it just because of how I was doing in the beginning. Everyone sucks in the beginning. That's just the nature of it. You give yourself a little bit of practice each day, microdose it. I'm telling you, you will gain a lot from this practice, okay? So just practice. A little bit each day. Now, we did our overhand, underhand, dragons. What should we do next? You know what? I think this video was long enough. We got overhand, underhand, dragons. I want to just go through a few different movements for you, okay? Right here, and I go into this in the rope flow course, but right here, this is your elbow steer, okay? I'm steering the rope with my elbow now. This next movement is an elbow steer with my right arm. It kind of mirrors and mimics throwing an elbow. Right here, uppercuts. There's a movement I'll show you right now, the Matador Roll. It's 2 beats, but I'm going to show it to you kind of quickly. We've been doing this overhand movement where the rope is 1 beat, 1, 1, 1 on one side of the body, okay? The Matador is like a matador. Ole, ole, ole. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That is the overhand matador. I'll show you quickly. I go in slower and deep. I'm going to tell you what I was about to say. It's not because of how my mind works. It's just, I go in slower and deeper in the Rope Flow Foundations course on school.com. Those words were about to leave my mouth, and then I realized it. And then I guess I just decided to tell you what I was going to say, but that's so ridiculous. Like, what? What I was meaning, what my intent was I explained this in a slower and a deeper fashion on the Rope Flow Foundations course on school.com. I don't know if that was much better. Either way, I'm going to give you a fast track version of the Matador right now. Go over to school and learn it, okay? Fast track version of the Matador. Now, this is going to require a hand switch, okay? So right hand over left, you're going to swing the rope once, 1, bring it over, 1, 2, 1, over, over, under. The hand that's over comes over, the hand that's under comes over, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, okay? So notice, we've been doing things with keeping one hand over the other like this. Boom. With the Matador, this right hand that I have over here, I'm gonna bring it over, and then my over switch, my left arm is gonna switch with that right arm. And now the left arm's on top. When I go to this side, the left arm's gonna come over, and then the right hand's gonna then be on top to switch. So left over, right switch, right hand over, left hand switch, left hand over, right hand switch, right hand over, left hand switch. Switch, over, switch, over, switch. That is your Matador roll. That is your overhand Matador. Because understand, ground is coming towards me. So over, switch, over, switch. Propeller, underhand Matador is the same deal. Under, switch, under, switch. For my brothers and sisters, this is right. This is like the this is the Millie Rock. Under switch, under switch, under switch. It's the Millie Rock pretty much, okay? Aspects are missing, but it's the Millie Rock. So now with the underhand Matador, with the overhand, we went over, switch, underhand Matador. I'm gonna face you guys for this one. We're here, okay? Then I'm gonna come under, switch, under, switch, under, switch. Notice how it's 2 beats. What we were doing before, again, with the underhand race and chase pattern, is we're just doing this 1, 1, 1. The Matador is under 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Your Matador might not look as smooth right now because you're not shifting weight, because the coordination isn't there yet, right? If you're just using your arms, it'll kind of look like this, right? But over time, you learn how to follow the weight of the rope, move with the rope, breathe, rotate your spine, shift weight, then it'll start to look really smooth, okay? Then, after you learn that, you can start to weave that in. Overhand Matador, Propeller, Underhand Matador, take a step, Propeller, Overhand Matador, Dragon, Underhand Matador, Dragon, okay? That is the Matador. So let me just, lastly, show you a few different patterns. I'll name them out as I do them. All these patterns are in the course in school.com, the Stronger Human community. And yeah, just realize that all the ropes are at thestrongerhuman.com. For you, give yourself time with the practice. I don't bite off too much, okay? I want you guys to enjoy it. And please, I would ask this. If you went through this video, I'm about to show you a bunch of other movements, but if you've gone through this video, share this practice with somebody in your life that needs movement, okay? Share this practice with somebody in your life that needs movement, because many of us do not have a flow state movement practice that we can just do, helps our body feel better, is enjoyable. It's not exercise, okay? This is just, it's just movement, okay? So, I want you to not stress out about this. I want you to keep it relaxed. Give yourself time, because this is something I'm gonna be doing for the rest of my life. And as I do it, I'm gonna continue to share more and more that I learn with you guys. All right? So, share it with somebody. Come join the Stronger Human. We're partying in there, okay? We got a March, April challenge coming up where you can win gift cards to the Stronger Human store, and you can pretty much just win stuff for becoming a stronger human. So come join us over there. Now, let's go through a few different movements, okay? And comment down below. Let me know how your experience with rope flow has been. If you've been doing it or if you're new to it, let me know how you've been doing with your new experience. Now, this is the underhand snake, okay? This is the overhand snake. Shifting weight, boom. The Hanuman's dance is like the dragon, or it's in the same plane, but it's also called a tandem sneak, where you're sneaking the rope on both sides of the body. This is sneaking, and this is sneaking. This is Hanuman's dance. Brings a lot of shoulder rotation, okay? We have wraps. There's many types of wraps you can do. Boom. Behind the body wraps. Boom. I think this is called a high dragon. This right here is a dragon hug. Boom. Boom. This right here is a single arm underhand sneak. This is a single arm overhand sneak. A lot of shoulder rotation. Oh. Oh, this is a throw. You notice that this pattern right here is something that you might actually do with a mace. And I actually learned how to wield maces from the rope. I didn't learn maces from doing just mace work. These shoulder patterns, this throwing pattern that you get yourself into, is something that you learn how to do with the mace. Elbow steer. Cheetah's tail, right here. Call this the cheetah's tail because you see that tail? Boom, that is the cheetah's tail. Cheetah door, because it's a cheetah door because it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, just like the Matador, it's 2 beats. This next movement is called the peacock. It's called the peacock because of a peacock's tail, okay? I like to call it the Ali, just because I feel like I sway like Muhammad Ali. You can, if you want that intent, but you can also bounce like a peacock. Let me show you facing this direction. The reason why people call it the peacock is like, peacock, 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 peacock. Clip that. I call it the Ali because I like to sway. But let's break the rule real quick. The Matador, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. It's called the Matador because it's a peacock, but 2 beats instead of 1. Then we have, I forgot the name of this movement, but it's something. I think it's a wind, I don't know. Someone who's rope flow experienced. Okay, my camera died. But there was a movement I was showing you. I don't know what I was showing you before it died, but I think it was this. Woo! Actually, there's also different types of wraps you can do with your wrist, rips wraps, finger wraps, right? Hand switches. There's a lot of different movements. There is releases where you let the rope go and catch it. There is mic releases. Whoa, that could have been so much better. Let me do that again. Actually, boom, there we go. You can do overhand mic releases, underhand mic releases. There's a lot. There's a lot you can learn, to put together. And that's the beauty of the practice. That's why I see it as its own internal martial art. It allows you to build a relationship with your body and learn how to move in ways that you never have. And those rotational aspects of movement, those will seep into the way that you move through space during the day and the way that you coordinate yourself when you're walking, running, sprinting. For me, when I'm grappling, it shows itself. There's this cool quote from the Book of 5 Rings from Miyamoto Musashi, from one thing you learn 10,000 things. And as I've developed the practice of rope flow for myself, along with other movement practices, I have realized that my body has learned to do many things from one thing. As I mentioned, this coordination for this elbow steer, putting weight through the rope, steering with your elbow. That is an elbow. The shift of weight is what one would do if they were to throw an elbow and shift in this direction, or elbow and come back in this direction. You learn a lot. A lot of martial patterns are ingrained in the practice because it's a rotational movement practice. And I think you'll really enjoy it if you give it a shot. So anyway, I don't know how this video will do, but if you've gone through the whole thing, well, welcome to the Stronger Human. Let's keep it moving, and I'll talk to you guys soon.